and welcome back to part 35 of Neptunia VIIR, where today, on this boiling hot summer's day, we are going to finally start storming AffimaX's base to try and finish Act 2. Today and tomorrow's part is entirely based on storming AffimaX's base, but firstly we have this dumb little scene that you get. I'm not actually sure what I did. I don't know whether it was banking in the side quest with Blanc, or whether it was just buying enough from the shop, but you get this optional little scene with Sisha, where Sisha decides Sisha decides upon herself that she doesn't have enough personality, so she was going to make it so her clothing gets ripped off every time she's in combat, to which Blanc was like, yeah, no, you're not doing that.
Let's try going here.
Anyway, when we storm over here, we'll be able to find out that AffimaX's base is actually not too far away from where we are. But firstly, we have to have a little scene. I also open up Virtual Forest, you know, like one of the optional dungeons that we opened up because of the scouts, so I'll try and explore that at some point before the end of this game, since Virtual Forest has a bit of infamy for being, you know, the very first dungeon of the series. This is the only game that I know of in the main series to not have Virtual Forest be the first dungeon theme. Alright, we finished our preparations for the charge, now we just have to find it. I'm looking forward to seeing what a floating battleship is actually like. Geez, Nepgear, you always like that the tech is involved. It's not going for fun. Sorry, Uni, I just got a little excited. You do it every time, and frankly, one of these days you're gonna let your guard down. Wait, eh? That's... What's wrong, Uni? Sorry, Nora and Nepgear, I just remembered I had to take care of something first. You two go on ahead without me, I'll catch up. Hey, where are you going, Uni? Oh, I never thought my friendship with the General was a lie. I guess it really is because I betrayed his way of busty plans. But it's impossible to return to that path now. What are you doing in a place like this in the middle of the day? Lady Uni? What's with that reaction? Why are you here, Lady Uni? No specific reason, I was just passing by when I saw you here at an odd time of day with such a gloomy look, so I got worried. I see. You look awful, what happened? I've been betrayed by a friend. It's almost laughable how alone I was in thinking we were good friends. Betrayed? Do you want to tell me about it? As you know, Lady Uni, I have a natural talent to live my life unnoticed. I've always had a lonely life. It was when I was still in middle school years that the General had approached me. You had a childhood even though you were a robot? While everyone else was spending summer breaks with friends, I was picking up abandoned adult books in the mountains behind my house. Adult books? It was then that the one who couldn't pass by me, the one who decided to approach me, was the General. From then on, we overcame summer heat waves, lonely cold, and winter, and experienced both joys and sorrows together. But as of late, he's hidden more from me and acted very cold towards me. Do you have any idea why? The General has told me it was because his certain tastes of mine have changed. It was wrong of me to keep it secret, but I thought the General would accept it. I'm no expert here, but it sounds like an excuse. Excuse? What do you mean, Lady Uni? Most likely your General is shouldering some kind of large problem. He didn't want to get you involved, so he purposely acted cold towards you in order to push you away, perhaps? Could it be that? It rings a bell, doesn't it? Indeed. Lady Uni, I thank you for your sage advice. And Lady Uni, let me tell you this now. What? You're suddenly serious? I apologize for deceiving you for so long. What do you... He left. What did he mean by deceiving me? Oh, Uni. Uni inadvertently has gone through the most shit in the series, I feel like. Like, her entire development arc in the second game of the series, where she bounced off one of the villains, CFW Brave, and only developed because she managed to find a way to defeat him, not only physically, but defeat his idea, defeat his ideology as well with her own. And now to have to make her go through this as well. Oh, I just feel bad for her. I fired a ton of monsters of security robots would rush out, but totally disappointing. Disappointing. There's nothing better than avoiding battle. However, we also wish to avoid wasting our strength. Ain't that the truth? Meanwhile, just, you know, it's like a SpongeBob, like, it's like the tag card. Like, meanwhile. Why do I have this strange feeling of apprehension? I just hope it's my imagination. So you're worried too, huh, Histoire? Bisha, you have returned. It is not as though I do not trust them, but I feel as though something may happen. Me too, actually. Their opponents are the ones who did things to me and weren't you, right? I wonder if Nip and the others are alright. It's probably no good. Sisha, Keisha and Esha too. What are y'all doing here? We're here for the same reason you are. It was all well to see her off, but I started worrying about Blarney, so I ended up coming. Then, you too, Keisha, Esha? I'm not interested in such questions. Noah has, without telling her dearest friend. Okay, yeah, you guys are about the same too. Histoire, I'll say it now since it's getting down to the wire, but Blarney and the others may lose. We exchanged information between us about the powers that made us go strange, which is most likely caused by the organisation. The power is probably the exact opposite of share energy. You could call it some sort of negative power. It'd be fine if they had a large amount of share energy, but with their current amount, there's a huge possibility it'll be nullified. What did you say? Hey, wait a sec, that isn't part of the conversation. When did you even have it? On the way here. No way! This is most troubling. At this rate, the CPUs will... There's one method of overcoming this. Is that true? By all means, please enlighten me. Listen closely, for this method needs your resolve, Bisha. Huh? Me? Oh, yeah, I've missed voicing all the Gold Third members. Anyway, this is AffimaX's base. I love the theme that plays here. It's such a fittingly intimidating final dungeon-esque theme for where we are. And yeah, for the first half of this, I decided I'll be using Netgear, Uni, Rom and Ram since we have full choice of the 10 members we have as to who we want to use. And since, well, they're all pretty powerful, with the exception of IF and Compa. IF and Compa unfortunately won't be joining us or being fighting at any point during this, just because of how I decided to set it up. Having the CPU candidates do the first half and then the CPUs do the second half. If a character that is not in your primary party levels up, you instead just see their little icon, what you just saw there with Blan leveling up, and then hear them say it. You won't get to see their animation. Which admittedly I'm a little glad by, because when you get a full team, like, 'cause there's still more members to join, when you get a full team of everyone together, can you imagine if you had to sit through, like, 16 odd animations? But I can't get enough of this theme. This theme is amazing in my opinion. But anyway, we have a fight here. Alright, now that's skipped, I'm going to let this music play because I just love it so much and I think that you guys should get to hear it whilst I'm going through menuing. I know I've kind of developed a habit for letting the music play for a really long time, but there's just so many good moments in the theme that I wanted you guys to hear that I was just like, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to let this play out. It's just if I let it do the entire loop, because there's still quite a bit of the track left to go, if I let it do the whole loop, it would be, I'd be leaving you in silence for way too long. Like, that was already like 50 seconds, I think I'd have left it letting the music play. I love this theme. It's such a powerful and effective, like, ending theme for where we are in the story. And the only other time we hear this in the game, because there is a second dungeon that plays this theme, is also right at the very end of an act. It's right near the very end of Act 3. Like, this is the last dungeon of Act 2, which is why it's so grand and big and different. But there is one more dungeon it plays in, but that's also like right near the tail end of Act 3. And I mean like right near the very tail end. Like, I'm talking like right at the end of the fucking game. So it's fitting both times. The only thing that's not fitting is the fact that it still plays the normal Hyperdimension battle theme, because we're in Hyperdimension here, and I just don't think the jolliness of Hyperdimension's battle theme fits here at all. Don't get me wrong, I love Hyperdimension's battle theme. I love all the battle themes in this game. My favourite one is actually Act 3's specific dimensions battle theme, because there is one dimension we've yet to explore, and the battle theme in there, adore it. It's easily my favourite in the game of the 3 normal battle themes. But we won't be able to get to that for a little while, because after this part and the next part, I keep on saying it, but I am taking a slight break because my voice is tired. The easiest way to put it. My throat has not been the best it could have been for a little while now, and it just needs to recuperate, because I've been doing this every day for weeks straight. And it's not like, say, with Final Fantasy 15, where I was just talking along as we went through it. I'm having to voice all the characters because it was something I wanted to do, and now I've started, I have to finish it, kind of thing. Same with Act 3, I'll still be voicing all the characters as we go. And it does a number on your voice after a while. Changing the voice so many times. I'm not a professional actor, and I've never actually done any kind of acting work like that. So I'm learning like through experience, and my throat is adjusting through experience. And so doing this all the time, it's starting to wear out. Although despite what it looks like in here, like nothing in here other than the boxes are destructible. Like there's like these weird little like white boxes like behind us on the wall, and I was swinging at them like these must be breakable, but no, nothing in this room's like other than the normal boxes are breakable, which I thought kind of odd. Anyway, there's the move on to the next room, so we're gonna go every other direction but that way because there's still more to explore this place. And I like the structure of it. It's actually, you know, a giant battleship in structure. Like, it's not just a dungeon with a battleship aesthetic. Like, if you look at the layout of the place, it is a believable airship. It looks like 99% of it is just a cargo ship, though, which I guess makes sense of all the resources they need to have, that you'd have these big corridors and giant empty rooms that were probably at one point filled to the brim with boxes. But now they don't need them as much. They kind of scrapped them down a little bit and just let the monsters roam the building, roam the base even. Also, Uni got another level up.
I feel like I've gotten stronger.
Now, because I was aware of how much I over-leveled in the actual each character's individual episode, I ended up like avoiding some fights and avoiding extra conflicts here. So the next boss fight we're about to come up to, I fight it around the level you're supposed to be, and I end up fighting the actual end boss of it slightly under-leveled. But we do have, after a bit of workout, we do have an important cutscene coming up, followed by a pretty challenging boss fight. Which is why I'm doing this last second preparations now. Make sure everyone you've got where you want to be. Although the goddesses are not on the front line, they are partnered up with everyone, so if need be I can swap to them. Hence the blue lining. You see where the team there, you got the two at the grey, then it's the blue line and the red line. Red line is your vanguard or your main team, the blue line is your backup. God, I love this team so much. I even check the scouts while I'm at it, you know, just in case. And then I'm like, yeah, I've delayed this long enough, let's go fight this pretty difficult boss.
I've been waiting, CPUs.
I remember that voice. We already know who you are. Why don't you just show yourself? Long time no see, SteamX. Ooh, it's the moody ninja from before. Hey, it's been a while. Whoa, it's a ninja! A real ninja! It's my first time seeing one! Wow, isn't it amazing, Rom? Yeah, it's amazing! No way. Uni? Why? Why are you here? Was this what you meant by having tricked me?
What are you speaking of? I have no female acquaintances.
You're gonna play dumb, Judo?
Perhaps you're mistaking me for someone else?
Hey, Uni, do you know this guy? That's... Well... Oh... So that's what's going on with you. I finally understand what you meant then, too. Then we won't go easy on you either!
Allow me to name myself properly. I am the shadowy right-hand man of General AffimaX, leader of AffimaX. I am SteamX. I will destroy all who bear ill will towards us, even if they are CPUs.
Now,
Enjoy it. This is the second and last time you're going to get to hear the theme Ninja. My favourite track in this game. But this rematch for SteamX is not like the first one. The first one was easily a warm-up. Pretty much the rest of this part is this boss fight and then the cutscene that follows. This is a long ass fight. It's the next 7 or 8 minutes because this guy has a lot of health, hits like a truck as you just saw there, and can inflict status conditions with any of his weaponry. So your priority should be immediately attacking him from the sides to try and break said weaponry, because those status conditions will pile up and make quite the difference. Although I'm going to make this fight not seem that bad, trust me, if you let it get out of hand for even a second, SteamX will wipe the floor with you. This is actually a pretty tough fight. So you're going to see as we go on, I prioritise either using specials or attacking from the side, because I want to break those side pieces as quick as possible to try and stop him from being able to inflict status conditions. Because if you can disable your movement, which means you can't move your position when it's your turn, he can pin you down. If he inflicts you with paralysis, you're not taking turns. If he inflicts you with virus, you're not being able to transform into your CPU form, which means you don't get the boosted attack and defense. And although the boosted attack doesn't make that much of a difference on the SteamX, the boosted defense definitely does. Even Neptune Break, if you decide to bring Neptune in this, won't do anywhere near as much as you might think he does. It's like Neptune Break. Well, I think it's more just because the SteamX's physical defense is so high compared to his magic defense. But Neptune Break is not necessarily the most ideal thing to use. It will still hurt him, like a lot, but it won't do anywhere near as much as you think it will. Let's say his physical defense is very damn high. It's his magic defense that will start to let him down, and why you should be specialising on special attacks, and why having Rom and Ram in your party is very helpful. But look at how low health Rom is now. Despite the fact she's in her CPU form, so has the extra boosted defense. She'd be down. She'd be down and out for the count if it wasn't for the fact she was in her CPU form. Thankfully, that ice magic managed to start tearing away at some of the armor plating, so a bit of it's broken. And I'm also aware that Rom will have her turn before SteamX next gets to attack, so I'm going to use that to my advantage to try and get some extra pain in and break the shuriken. And see that Rom can't move and is right in front of him. So I need to heal off everything I can. If you have Rom at least past level 40, she should have access to her full restore, which I know I'm using Pokemon terminology for a Neptunia game, but it is pretty much full restore. It restores the status conditions and heals. Anyway, we're going to use Stark Vista, or Vita I think it is. I love the animation quality of her flipping round as she swings. That was a neat little animation. And I'm going to end it up with a oh no, I don't. I thought I was going to go for a defensive cheer. You might have also noticed how long this fight's already been going, and we're only 2 of his several health bars down.
Let's have fun, Rom. Yeah.
Like, you've really got to throw everything at SteamX to win this fight, and this isn't even the main event. There's a reason why I split AffimaX base into 2. It's because the next part, doing the rest of the dungeon and then fighting the final boss of Act 2, they're really goddamn long fights. And they're pretty damn tough. Like, I know I've commented and criticised this game a lot for being pretty damn easy, but I do feel like it does a lot to make up for it at this point onwards. A lot of the boss fights coming up beyond this point are actually pretty tough. Yeah, I know they're a lot harder in the original version of V2, because in the remake they did kind of nerf a lot of the enemies and bosses and adjust the gameplay to be a bit easier for the CPUs and, well, your team. But yeah, but still, it is still a bit easy in this game for the most part. Now SteamX has said that they will add new skills that he can use, some of which are terrifying, but most of them you can get through.
Okay. This is Rom's power. Nepgear, do your best.
I like how a lot of Rom's special is just like someone telling Rom to help out, Rom nodding, do a little thing with her attack, and then the other person does it. Like, Rom doesn't actually get involved in the attack, they just buffs whoever's with them and says, okay, now you go. And they probably reuse a few other animations from the one with Blanc, but oh well. And now we're in a little bit of trouble because he's prioritised inflicting virus on Nepgear, so now she's forced out of her CPU form and cannot get back into it. Also, I'm pretty sure Rom just did a JoJo pose, like when she went to use that spell, like, whatever. So I say that, this game does reference JoJo a couple times. I don't watch JoJo, so I only know what's in the memes kind of thing. I don't actually know the show, don't know how heavy the referencing in this game gets, but I am aware from like talking to community and things like that, they do reference JoJo a hell of a lot in this game. And you see, you might think, oh, he hasn't got much left, we're going to be fine. But what's he going to do? Oh, you know, he's just going to use his ultimate attack, stealth ninja art. Which, to be fair, is pretty cool. I like the animation of it. Yeah, like that. It's simple, but it's effective. And although it didn't seem to do much damage, it does stack up because it attempts to inflict several different status conditions on you. Because of our equipment, though, only poison seems to break through. But if you're not prepared for it, that attack really can turn it, because you could find yourself getting stunned or skill sealed. And skill sealed is a nightmare because it stops you from being able to do anything pretty much. You can just move around and use items. And so I try and heal off Nepgear's virus, just so I want to get her back in CPU before it gets dangerous. Because SteamX does try and pick out the weakest sometimes. Like, I don't know if it's just my luck or whether it is programmed, but if someone seems to be lagging behind, he does seem to target them in particular. But SteamX is down to his last health bar. Now, I wanted, and you're going to start to see this, I really wanted Uni to get the last hit, because this fight means the most to her. I can't remember for the life of me if I actually get it. I just remember really goddamn trying for it. But at the same time, I also didn't want to just drag out and leave him alive whilst I wait for it to go around to Uni's turn. Yeah, you can see there, the attack, his ultimate, it was wind element as well. So if you have any equipment that makes you weak to wind, god damn it, change it off beforehand. Oh, I do just barely get him with finishing it off with Uni. I'm glad about that. I couldn't remember because I recorded this ages ago.
Can't know I barely won that.
And we got the Mechanical Blade Crimson, and we've defeated SteamX for the last time. And now we've got more cutscenes to play.
Regrets.
Now you're gonna come with us. Quietly.
I refuse!
Still ridiculously stubborn, I see.
Even if I cannot defeat you CPUs, as a ninja serving under General AffimaX, I will not allow you to get to him, even if it costs me my life!
You've got guts for an enemy, I'll give you that!
Noir, why are you so sensitive towards his silly story? Is it 'cause you're starving for pals and want to befriend this moody ninja?
What? I'm not starving for friends!
Yee! Noir got angry.
Get back here, Neptune!
Goodness, those two never change. But what shall we do now? From what I can tell, he barely has enough energy left to stand.
We're carrying the world on our shoulders right now. So if he's gonna get in the way, we're just gonna have to scrap him.
This is...
Could it be? Has someone placed a hit on him? Is there a cleaner in the room? No, it was me. Is Uni in cahoots with AffimaX? I had a vague suspicion that your voice suits either an idol or an assassin. To think I was right all along. That's not it at all. This was getting annoying. All I did was shoot him with a tranquilizer. See? He's fast asleep. Ooh, I see. Jeez, don't scare me like that.
Hey, leave her alone! It was your fault for misunderstanding! You did it to yourself! And Uni, of course we'd be surprised if you did something so sudden like that!
I'm sorry.
Now, it's worked itself out, right? We have avoided trouble. This is a good thing.
Yeah, it's better than him using some weird technique on us like he did last time.
Uh-huh. Especially since we have little kids with us now, too. Don't want them seeing that stuff.
Looks like he's sleeping soundly, so let's collect him later and keep moving on ahead.
You're awake, aren't you?
I apologize, Lady Uni.
For deceiving me?
That too, but I meant for giving me a chance to get away from that battle. If you hadn't shot me with that bullet, I would have fought, lost, and probably would have been turned into scrap metal shortly after.
You could have just given up then, you know? My sister and the others scared you, right?
Undoubtedly. I was paralyzed with fear, but I talked myself up so much, I just couldn't let myself back down. I was in too deep.
I figured. I saw right through that.
I really can't thank you enough.
If you really want to thank me, don't run, okay? If you run away, I'm going to be mad at you.
I understand. And Lady Uni, the General...
I know. We won't treat him that horribly. So you can rest assured.
Oh, and it's immediately going to get ruined by the tutorial theme. But now it's introducing flags, and flags are basically upgrades to your actual field abilities. And the one for defeating SteamX is jumping style. We finally got our jump upgrade, so we can jump stupid high. But next time on Neptunia VIIR, we're going to storm the rest of AffimaX's base and take on AffiMogus. But just before we go, I want to let the theme Ninja play, since I talked over the entire fight and it is my favourite theme in the game. So I'm going to leave this part, allowing Ninja to play on. Enjoy it.